Welcome, my friends, to the Black Diamond for Monday, October 10th. Spectacular day here in digital altitude land. We are, 11 days away? Not even now. The 10th is almost over. So about 10 and a half days away from the beginning of the show at the Marketing Mastery event, the first ever Marketing Mastery event here inside digital altitude, happening, of course, in Las Vegas. If you can still get a ticket, go ahead and get one. They may be sold out. I have not been on the site much of the day. So if you're able to, especially if you're brand new, like we heard a couple of brand new people introducing themselves on this call for the first time just before we went live here. And so if you have not yet heard about this, and if you can still get a ticket, do yourself a favor, grab a ticket to the event on the 21st through 23rd in Las Vegas. That's Marketing Mastery. I'll be there. People are coming in from all over planet Earth and beyond. We do expect some extraterrestrials. So definitely be there. But all joking aside, big event, big deal, and very accessible for everyone. Vegas is an easy place to get in and out of. Planes land like every 30 seconds there. So there's that. And what are we on to today? We're on to the Black Diamond call, which is one of my favorites. Is a call that we've been hosting where we get to showcase a different top earner each week. Hence the term Black Diamond, because as you know, if you've done any skiing or snowboarding, that the Black Diamond is the expert level stuff at the top of the mountain. And so that's what we get to talk about here. We get to talk about, well, essentially, my view on stuff, what has allowed me to generate millions of dollars in profits in my time here in this industry, as well as my guest speaker and their view on stuff. So we've got some rules. We've got some rules for this call. The rules are that nothing is pre-planned or pre-scripted or premeditated on this call. You're just going to hear our opinion on stuff. This is how we work our businesses. The rules are take what you like and leave the rest, just like a buffet, right? I like the lasagna. I don't necessarily want the octopus tonight. That's okay. You don't have to have the octopus. You don't have the lasagna. That's fine. Here's the salad, right? How about some cheesecake? Take what you like and leave the rest. And of course, if I say anything, that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just the rules. This is about reality. This is about helping you get to the top of the mountain as quickly as possible. I've often said, in fact, I was just saying to our co-host tonight that I'd rather, help people, get out of their comfort zone and get success rather than sit there and be nice and cushy and stay comfortable and stay broke, right? So if you're into results, this is a results-driven conversation. Results. It's all about the results. And the results we're talking about tonight are those that come with the perseverance, the willingness and the tenacity to hustle a bit, right? To get off your butt, to do something, and to go through whatever the learning curve is or whatever those circumstances are that are essentially a result based on the decisions you made yesterday, right? So if we look around ourselves and we say, oh man, we got some rough circumstances over here. We've got, lack, limitation, problems, our job that we don't like, or whatever it is that brought you here. Those circumstances may be uncongenial, but as the old saying goes, they will not long remain so if you but perceive a goal and begin at once to strive to reach it. I was paraphrasing. I have to look up that quote. It's a pretty powerful quote. But the point is that the circumstances don't create you moving forward. They reveal where you've been, but they don't create you moving forward. So a lot of times, we've got to go through a bit of an evolutionary process to be able to get to a higher level in our lives. In fact, I don't know anyone who makes a big breakthrough in their life, in their business, in their relationships, with their health and fitness and whatever they're looking to accomplish. I don't know anyone who does that without having some perseverance, without getting uncomfortable, without getting up and moving and doing it. Right? I can certainly relate to or give you an example from the physical realm, right, where we can look at going into the gym and lifting weights and such. I remember when I started working out, I was a skinny kid, right? I was 140 pounds and, ribs sticking out and all this, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get big and strong. So I got around people who were big and strong, and it was at a place called the gym. And in the gym, I was hanging around with these big and strong people, and they showed me how to lift weights. And guess what? It was uncomfortable. It's still uncomfortable. It's still uncomfortable. But the old saying, no pain, no gain, I persevered, right? I kept showing up. I kept doing the thing over and over and over again, as uncomfortable as it may have been. Next thing you know, I'm big and strong, right? Didn't happen overnight, but my goodness, was it worth it? And so I think we'll have a fitness expo or something when we're together in Vegas in a week or so. But certainly there's going to be a fantastic gym, by the way, for all you fitness buffs. At the Red Rock, you'll find me in there probably around 6:30 in the morning each day. But that being said, that's an objective example. That's something we can look at and say, yes, you want the muscles, you got to lift the weights. Is it pleasant? No, especially not at first. But you know what? I didn't want to go to the gym this morning either. I didn't want to go to the gym, but guess what I did? I went to the gym. Sometimes I'll actually introduce that to people. I'll be like, I'm thinking about just making excuses. I don't want to go to the gym today. What do you think I should do? I want to go to the gym. All right, great. I'm going to go to the gym. So that's an objective example. It's something we can look at and we can touch and we can say, yes, it hurts to pick up weights, but fine. How bad do you want it? There's the question. And this is the question that comes up again and again and again throughout our industry, not just here in Digital Altitude, and not just my opinion about it, but again and again and again throughout the industry. Any industry where we can see that people have a free enterprise opportunity where they can go and they can be a top earner or not, right? They could sit there and be comfortable, be a rank and file, a person who just does enough to get by or just to not get fired or something, right? Like at a corporate job. But wherever we could see that there is the potential for advancement, there's going to be people who get up and hustle, people who make it happen, and who subordinate, here's the thing, who subordinate their preferences about the way things should be. They subordinate all that, and they deal with things as they are. Yes, we have circumstances, but yes, we are more powerful than those circumstances, and we can demonstrate that to ourselves through our action. And that, my friends, is where all of our answers come, is when we're in action. Sitting around and philosophizing about it, as much as I love philosophy, that's not made me money. Applying the philosophy, yes, applying the theory into practical application, that is what has made me piles of money. So to help us with this topic tonight, I've got a guy originally out of Ireland. I don't know how many of you know this guy, but he's one of our top affiliates here, and he's a guy who I've just recently gotten to know a little bit. Of course, I'm looking forward to getting to knowing him more, as we all are, as I bring out from beautiful Washington, Mr. Dave Prosser. Dave, are you on the line with us, sir?
Hey, John, what's going on, my friend? I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Oh, fantastic. You're loud and clear, Dave. We're talking about perseverance. We're talking about getting off our butts and getting what we want and not sitting around and crying in our soup. What do you think about all that?
Oh, hell yeah. You know what, John? Joining a gym will not make you skinny. I've said that forever, man. You got to put in the work. And people need to realize that. Joining a business, just signing up to something, paying the monthly auto ship, it's not going to get you anywhere. You got to get off your ass and do the work.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like you've got a little bit of experience with that as well.
Oh, man, John, let me tell you, I could go back years, and I remember back in 2008. Like I said, I came over here from Dublin. I got off the boat fresh. I got into business very, very quickly when I moved over here first. Now, I was in hustle mode. I started a real estate business. I got into a coffee shop business where I was a partner with some other people in a coffee shop endeavor. And you know what, John? All that crashed and burned. I got screwed out of a load of money. And I remember talking to a buddy of mine. We were actually sitting in a coffee shop here in Seattle, and it would have been, I think it was early 2010, right? My shop gone, real estate gone, money flushed down the bin. My marriage was over. And I remember sitting down in a coffee shop with my buddy, and we were chit-chatting. So, we got to figure out this online deal. We were entrepreneurs. We knew it. And you see, let me go back here a little bit. That is half the battle of knowing what you want to be, knowing that you're not going to settle to be mediocre, knowing that you're not going to settle to build somebody else's dream. And I think, you've either got that or you haven't. And if you've got that, it's in your blood, it's in your DNA, you know that there's nothing else that will ever, ever compare to that feeling that you built something, you created something, And I mean, that's just kind of what we were chit-chatting about that day. And I remember saying to my buddy Aaron, I don't know if he's listening on the call right now, but I said, I had a little girl. She was just about to turn 2 at this time. I said, hey, there's no way I'm going to work for somebody else and be apart from my daughter and not be able to watch her grow up. And you know what, John? I turned on that hustle muscle and I went full speed. That was the beginning, man. And, back in those early years, I joined network marketing companies. I started some eBay stuff, like anything there was out there online. I was buying training courses. I was spending money on courses rather than food for myself most of the time. I was sitting there till 4 a.m. I was trying to figure shit out. And most of the time, it didn't work. And I think that's just what you got to go through to get to the promised land. You got to go through that. Doesn't work. Let's figure it out. Let's make a mistake. Let's learn from that mistake. Let's figure it out. Repeat until, you have that breakthrough. And when that breakthrough comes, even if it's making $1 online, it just proves a point to you. It proves that you can do it. And when you see that happen, and another trigger goes off, and you create more success, and you build on that success, then you fail a shitload more times. You get back up and you keep going. And that's where a lot of people quit. That's where a lot of people bounce out. I mean, I've met so many people in this industry, and they talk to me all the time. I'm bombarded with Facebook messages daily. Hey, Dave, it's been a month. It's been 2 months. I didn't make any money. Fuck off. What do you expect? You know what I mean? Like, people need to treat their business like a business and be prepared to put the work in, put the sweat in to build that business for themselves, for their families. Because, if you're not going to create success for yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to hand it to you. You need to be prepared to get out there and make it happen.
Absolutely. You know what, Dave? I'm getting a refreshing, bold conversation here out of you. So I'm very excited to hear where we go with this. You obviously had a motivation with your daughter, and looking at how some people succumb to basically succumb to their fate. Well, I guess I can't be there for my kids or whatever their situation is, with their jobs and their choice of lifestyle. But you would not abide that, right? You would not be denied this.
I mean, you either succumb to your aspirations or you succumb to your bullshit. It's one or the other, Mm-hmm. You either look to the future and you look to the vision and, go with that, or you give in to your bullshit excuses that you tell yourself, which are completely untrue anyway. They're just planted there by society. You know what I mean, John?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what could you instruct people who are perhaps brand new? They've just considered entrepreneurship for the first time. And fortunately for them, they found us. They found Digital Altitude. They found this whole thing that Michael Force and the whole staff here has put together. What are the takeaways? What are the instructive things that you would advise for this person who wants to get to where you're at, making multiple 5 figures monthly?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, here's the deal, John. Back years ago, like I said, I make it around in a lot of different companies. And I really hustled. I tried, and I'd never quit. But most of the businesses that I was involved with, I had that hustle. I got on the phone. I worked 24 hours a day, 26 hours a day I worked. So I didn't sleep. And I kept going. And I was creating momentum. I was seeing some success. But the people that were coming in with me, they just didn't have that drive, I don't know what it was. Maybe the system was broken. Maybe it was a broken model they were coming into. Maybe it works for some people. I don't know. But the difference is with Digital Altitude, and you know what, John? When I started with Digital Altitude, things changed for me. The last few years, I had some success. I'm not going to say I didn't, and I was making money, but I was never, ever making money like I am with Digital Altitude and seeing the type of duplication, which is more important than anything else, the duplication. I mean, I just posted on Facebook earlier on that I was watching my team, my personal team, averaging over $200,000 a month in sales with Digital Altitude. And that blows me away because I know it's not just me. It's not like all these other companies where I've brought people in and, they couldn't do it. They quit after a month. They quit after a couple of months. With Digital Altitude and what Michael has put together for us, it's a way for people to create success, and they're doing it. They're doing it every single day. Look in our Facebook group. If you're new, right? Joshua, welcome. I know you're new. I heard you at the very start there, and all the rest of the new people listening on this call right now. Go to our Facebook group. Scroll through the posts. You will never, in another company, see the type of success that new people are having with Digital Altitude. So what I would encourage you to do, forget the distractions. Especially if you're on Facebook. People are going to hit you up. They're going to message you all the time. If you're new, right, take it from me. I was new as well. You're going to get flooded with your inbox by people saying, oh, do this, do that. And, some bullshit like, hey, join this and you'll get more money to invest in your DA business. Ignore that crap and focus. Get laser focused with Digital Altitude, because there is no better business model out there in the space right now. Take it from me. I've been online for years. Take it from any of the top leaders in Digital Altitude. You need to focus. You need to plant your feet with this company, and you need to do whatever it takes to make it work.
Amen. You're talking about having the contrast just through your experience, right? You've seen other things, you've experienced other things, and I don't know that a lot of people really grasp that, especially if they haven't seen what you or I have seen and haven't been around the industry as long as we have. But there's something really profound that's happening here. There's a reason why top leaders and marketers are coming together inside Digital Altitude like never before, and I think a lot of people don't actually know that we've broken just about every record in the top tier direct sales space just in the first 6 months. Profound stuff. So Dave, and by the way, Dave, I'm hearing a couple people saying that you're sounding a little bit quiet. Maybe if you can move closer to the mic or headset or whatever you're using. Just check your volume
I'm
there.
on the phone here, so.
Okay, yeah, you sound okay to me. So so then understanding, here's something that's coming up for me as I'm hearing you say this. Understanding the clarity that Dave has gotten through the contrast of seeing what are the alternatives, and why is he hung his hat here inside Digital Altitude. And the gratitude of knowing, you see, once you know you got your hands on something great, you go all chips in and full throttle, and you do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to maximize that opportunity. Dave, I'll tell you, I've had quite a bit of success in this industry, and guess what? Wouldn't you know it, I've had my share of failure as well. Right? There's an old saying, you can't win them all, right? Well, you can't lose them all either, right? I mean, you got to hit sometimes too. But I can tell you that with the distinctions that that guys like myself and yourself and all people who've been here, who've already earned enough money to, let's say, at least quit a job, right? Get out of a job. Like I haven't worked a job since 2002, so been a while, right? Been a while. But I had reasons, you see, that I wanted out of that. But having been around the industry as long as I have, and having been out of that job, corporate workforce for as long as I have, I've gotten to see quite an interesting variety of stuff. You mentioned something just as an aside, as you were talking just then, about people introducing distractions, attempting to woo people over to, hey, the grass is greener over here, or hey, you can use this as a feeder program for that, and essentially complicating the process for people.
The devil.
And I think that, well, yeah, what we see quite often is that people who don't have the distinctions, who can't tell the difference between, choice A and choice B because they haven't seen all the stuff that you've seen, it's easy to get distracted. And like the old saying goes, the fox that chases two rabbits catches neither. So that's an interesting thing that you just brought up. And perhaps you can go further down that road, or whatever road you want to go down in terms of this. What did you do to get it done, and why? Why do you think what we've got here is just so different? Like, why is this so profound? Why are we breaking records, especially for the benefit of the new person? I think they need to understand that.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you why we're breaking records, plain and simple. Where else can you bring people into a business where they get plugged into their own personal coach who already is a 6- and 7-figure earner, who's been down that path and is going to guide your people, guide the new person coming into the business, showing them the ropes, bringing them step by step through all the steps. I mean, we got the 18 steps here. Everything is laid out. It's not like you come in. And my comparison, you know, a lot of other programs out there, you're going to come in, and they're going to say, hey, buy all this shit now, you know? We don't do it like that. We want to bring people in and make sure that they know exactly what they're doing, make sure they're comfortable going through the process, and teach them the right way to build a business. Not the bullshit way, the right way. And, you know, that's a huge, huge difference. It's a huge contrast from most everything out there, especially other high-tier affiliate deals, right? I mean, you got network marketing businesses, which is completely different business model. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people on this call are network marketing, or they've been in the game, or they've seen what's going on in the game, the network marketing space. And, you know, you're going to recruit 20,000 million people to get the same kind of check that we're getting in DA after only a few months of being focused and actually, you know, putting the head down and going to work. And, you know, that's just a huge difference for me. I mean, it's kind of weird, John. I was talking with an MLM buddy the other day, and he's a top earner in a lot of things he does, and he was saying to me, man, I'm going out there, I'm on the phone 24 hours a day, it's fucking hell. You know, this guy just, it was like a pain in the ass building his business. And that's what I was hearing from. It's like, he's seeing us at DA. We've got the coach's support, we've got Michael's support, we've got all these fantastic calls that everybody should be on every single day, building us up, giving us that motivation. It's just mind-blowing, the difference. And it's night and day, John, you know. And people, like I said...
Well, you know, it's about the people. That's the thing here, Dave, and you know that, is that it's not just about some online marketing deal where we can make a buck. This is a movement.
I mean, this is a movement bigger than anything, man. I mean, bigger than any freaking thing out there. It's a freight train. We're tearing up the industry. And if you listen to this, you know, I don't know if you know about the records. I think we did like, what, 12 million last month we paid out, something like that. I mean, that's freaking insane. One of the biggest affiliate companies at their highest point in their business, I think they paid out 3 in a month. I mean, that's just freaking, we quadruple that. And what, we're a year old, not even. Come on, I mean, this is a movement. If anything is a movement, this is a movement. The people, the founders, everybody's in place. The generals are lined up. The army is charging. And, you know, you can either be with us or watch.
Yeah, again, words of resolve. So tell us, Dave, how did you apply that resolve to get through the newbie phase, right? We're talking about perseverance. We're talking about hustle. What kind of stuff did you have to overcome as you were making the transition from, you know, somebody hoping for success to somebody actually experiencing it?
Well, I mean, looking back, John, I got to say, for me it was easy because I knew what I wanted. And even though it was difficult, I won't even say difficult, it was challenging because there was a lot of pain in the ass days, you know, most of the days where I was pulling out my hair. But I knew where I was going, and I had made a decision, and I said, there's no way in hell I'm going back. And I think once you commit completely and burn those bridges behind you, you know where you're going. The challenges, they just fall away. You know, you get through them. And like you said, your circumstances don't make you, but they certainly shape you. And that is exactly what I want to say to everyone out there that's having struggles, having issues. You know, maybe they have no money. Maybe they're broke. Maybe they're having trouble with their spouse or family, thinking they're crazy. Maybe they've got their friends laughing at them. Fuck them. Doesn't matter. Once you have that vision, you're going to get through it. And that's all you got to believe. You got to know there's a better way out there. There's a life of abundance. You were not born to work 30 years, 60 years for somebody else in a cage. You weren't born to be caged, right? You were born to be free. And it's everything you want is out there waiting for you. All you got to do is make a decision and go for it.
Yeah, so I love the quote from James Allen where he says, circumstances do not make the man, they reveal him to himself. And that's right out of As a Man Thinketh, which is a small booklet which everyone can go ahead and download for free. Just go online, search for As a Man Thinketh, James Allen, grab that book. It is worth at least $20,000, but your cost today, $0, right? Because we got this internet thing. So go ahead and grab that, because what Dave is talking about right now is being bigger than your circumstances. And Dave, I could tell you in my experience that has been one of the biggest opportunities for me to overcome that hurdle where I used to walk around like a victim. I used to walk around like somebody who's just, this is my lot in life and this is what I've been dealt. And I mean, after all, it's been generation after generation of ignorant but well-meaning people. And, we're just going to go ahead and carry that torch. And don't you know there's limits to everything? And bottom line for me, I just got tired. This isn't my story now, but I'll just tell you a little taste of it. I got tired of seeing myself not get the results that I wanted. And I'm, granting, everyone their results. Whatever people want to get, I believe in live and let live. You want to work a job, that's fine. You want to be a millionaire, great, fantastic, okay? But what about me? What am I doing here with my life? Whose life am I living? And I found out I was living as I was shown and as was demonstrated to me by those who had come before me and had given their examples, their demonstrations, and I based my expectations of my own abilities on these things that were historical. They were circumstances that other people had generated that I was sort of born into. And when I just had enough, I was just tired of it. I was actually, and a lot of people do know my story, where I was actually sick from my job. I was working 80 hours a week. I never saw my wife. My health was failing, and as we even started this discussion, I've been kind of a gym rat for years and years, and I was getting out of shape. It was just not good. It was not a good time for me, and I was getting my pay cut 3 times a year. So as much as I was motivated, I could never reach my goals in that business model, in that corporate job style model. Now, some people are fine with having a corporation or a boss or some outside entity do their thinking for them, but not me. Not me. I mean, after all, I had been reading personal growth and psychology and all this stuff about success, like I was taught to do. I was doing that for years, and yet I lacked the income vehicle and the know-how on how to do it. You mentioned network marketing a few times here, Dave, and I've been to many events in terms of like network marketing and conventions, and of course I've done my own seminars and workshops and worked with people in network marketing. And a lot of times when I'm in a network marketing event, I'll talk to people about, hey, what kind of marketing are you doing? And tragically, they often don't have an answer. They're kind of like deer in headlights, like they don't understand what marketing is. Like, what is marketing? Well, we're in network marketing, or in our case, we're in affiliate marketing, top-tier direct sales, okay, but it's all under the, the umbrella of home-based entrepreneurship and all that. But if somebody identifies as a network marketer, like if that's the what their name tag says, hey, I'm Joe, I'm a network marketer. Okay, great. What kind of marketing are you doing? And they don't have an answer because they don't understand what marketing is.
Completely, man. It's building networks marketing. I mean, the name says it all. And what I've seen is just people, and the whole space, across every board. And it's the same kind of thing, people are, what are you doing? I'm reading this book, I'm doing this training, I'm studying this webinar. And, everything happens in action mode, and that's what people need to do. They need to get into action mode because nothing happens by reading a book. So it's like back to what I said at the very start, joining a gym won't make you skinny. You've got to do the work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that work then a little bit. With the time that we have here on this call today, you obviously learned something about marketing. You didn't become successful by, theorizing about marketing. You did marketing, and you actually caused what? You caused a demand to increase for what you were supplying, right? That's why we do marketing, is supply and demand. We're going to increase the demand. We do that by marketing, reaching into the public, impinging on people's space, putting their attention on what you offer. You've learned to do that. What are some of the methods? What are some of the things that you had to go through to create some momentum with that?
Well, what I'm going to say is don't be afraid to break stuff, right? Do not be afraid to break stuff. All the time I get messages asking, what can I run this type of ad? Can I do this? Can I do that? And my biggest advice there would be don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness, right? I mean, dude, I broke like 6 Facebook accounts. I got accounts shut down, banned. I just put up another one there a few months ago, and I'm running ads right now as we speak. You really just got to do it. You got to get out there and get your feet wet, no matter what type of marketing it is, whether it's speaking with people, whether it's PPC, social media, Facebook, Bing, CPV, blah, blah, blah. You know, you just got to do it. But what I would suggest to any new person on the call, or maybe a marketer that's got a little bit of ADD, I mean, we all do, okay? It's the entrepreneurial disease, I think, because we're all just nutcases. And we've all got the bug. We all want to make money, but we just need to focus. And I would encourage anybody out there to focus on one marketing strategy until you master it. Then move on to something else. Or not even master it until it's making you money, until it's self-sufficient, and then move on to something else. That would be my biggest advice there. You know, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. Go out there and break stuff.
What about shiny object syndrome, right? I'm going to do videos. Wait, I'm going to do Instagram. Wait, I'm going to do Facebook. I'm going to do 10,000 things. I'm going to be a Twitter guy. I'm going to do solo ads. Right. So what is your suggestion on that?
Here's the deal, John. I've got shiny object syndrome. I think we all do. We all like to know what's going on. We're entrepreneurs. We got that bug. We all like to see what's going on, but you just got to focus. You got to eliminate the distractions. You know, sometimes I'll shut down Facebook when I'm doing stuff. I'll shut down Twitter. I'll shut down social media. I'll plug up my phone. I want to get stuff done. You know, you really just got to, it's a personal thing. I mean, I know how I get through it. I just don't do other stuff. You know, I get hit up every day for opportunities and products and launches, and you just got to learn to say no. And believe it or not, sometimes people will respect you even more for saying no. Don't be a people pleaser. You can't say yes to everyone. You can't do everything that comes along, or your life is going to be a living hell. You got to be prepared to say no, and believe you and me, people will respect you more for it.
So that brings up another point, and this is one where I think people a lot of times allow fear to overtake them, and that is where they attempt to be all things to all people. They attempt to not offend, or they're reluctant to polarize their audience. And what I mean by that is they're vanilla, they're ignored, and they get no traction. Where I can tell immediately that you are not afraid to polarize your audience. Now that doesn't mean coming out and just being rotten and purposely offending people or whatever. However, I can tell you that there are people that are going to be irresistibly attracted to you, to your style, your presentation, and whatever you're doing, and there are other people that will be repelled by it, which is a beautiful time saver, by the way.
Oh, it's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. I want to repel people. I want to get rid of the time wasters, the negative energy, the time suckers. I want to get rid of them. As everybody should. You have no time for that, guys. And if you're listening to this, you're new, you're going to deal with all this. It's just part of being an entrepreneur. And the earlier you can realize, the better. You really want to eliminate that crap from your life straight away.
Well, Dave, we're sort of in an age of political correctness, right? Hey, let's not offend. Right, I'm okay, you're okay, and I mean this is what we hear and see all the time. People they're so easily offended by something somebody said, and oh my goodness. But are those people, the real frail and they can't really listen to words without getting offended? Are those the people that you think are cut out for entrepreneurship?
Oh hell no, absolutely not. I mean the people that are offended by a little bit of ass grabbing, they can go.
Okay. Well, the question was a bit rhetorical, but the idea that we can
that was a rhetorical answer as well, by the way, John.
Yeah. So the idea that we could stay comfortable and not grow as people, and just be in our comfort zone, and yet somehow get some outrageous result. Well, that's kind of a misnomer, right? I mean, anyone who's done something of note has, like we started this conversation with, they've persevered, right? They've become strong. Now, they haven't been good at everything, okay? And I can tell you right now, I'm good at a few things, Dave. I'm really, really, really good at a few things. And I'm very ignorant at most everything else, So the idea that comes up for me as I'm hearing you talk is something that I heard Peter McWilliams say in his book, which I think was a classic. The book is called Do It. That's the title of the book, Do It. And he said, you can't have everything you want, but you can have anything you want. Now listen to that distinction. You can't have everything you want, but you can have anything you want. So we're going to have to choose. And again, how bad do you want it? What are we willing to sacrifice in order to get this lifestyle that Dave is describing here tonight? Okay, I can tell you as a person who has made millions of dollars in this industry and who has not worked a job since 2002. Okay, and having done that without all the advantages that Dave you were just citing in terms of the enormous opportunity we have here with digital altitude. Okay,
Huge.
doing it without those advantages. Right, exactly. I can tell you that, and I've said this to people, my worst day as an entrepreneur is still better than my best day ever working a job. What would you say to that?
Oh, damn right. You know, I'd rather, oh, man, yeah, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head there. Why the hell work for somebody else for your life? I don't get it. I don't get the mentality. I mean, the world needs workers. That's okay, you know, but it's not for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it is, you know, and like I said, you're either an entrepreneur or you're not. You've either got it or you don't. I mean, I know plenty of people that work corporate jobs. They work in banks. They work in lawyers, a couple of lawyers, and they love what they do. They enjoy it, but sometimes after having conversations with them, I don't think they even realize what's out there. I mean, I for example, I had a meeting with my CPA there last month. You know, I'm like, well, hey, yeah, I'm just CPA. He's giving me a new car, and it's like, what? You know, yeah, a new car, and he was looking at my books and stuff. Said, holy shit, you know, what's going on here? And just the vibe that I got off him, like, he was, I don't know, if there's something else out there. I guess a lot of people just don't realize it, John, and I think that's what we need to do as a movement is spread the word and go out there and just let people know that, you know, they don't have to be stuck. They don't have to settle. They don't have to build somebody else's dreams. They can build their own. That's it, man, you know.
Well, you know, there was a time, and I'll speak about my country here. Here we are in the United States. There was a time when people were personally marketable. In other words, you had, let's say, a blacksmith shop. You're the blacksmith, and you're going to go get a job today. You're going to go make the horseshoes for the farmer guy down the street, and that's your job for today. And then tomorrow you need to go get another job. You need to go get the hinges, make the hinges for the guy with the fence, right? So you had to be personally marketable in your community to go get jobs, plural, right? To go get customers for your art, for your craft. Okay. Then we had this Industrial Revolution, which did some brilliant things in terms of, people's ability to have more stuff and have it manufactured, and of course the great boom in the economy and all the great things that came from the Industrial Revolution. But the byproduct of that was now I'm just going to get a job, singular, not plural, okay? And I need to be personally marketable to the extent that this boss person or this corporation will hire me for this job. But now that I've got this one and only job, now I can do enough to not get fired. And that's it. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't have to go out and find somebody who wants me to make them horseshoes anymore, because all I do is I pull this lever here, you see, and I pull this lever 100 times a day, and I show up every day and do that, and I get a paycheck. And I've got this thing called security now, which I think a lot of people are realizing finally is an illusion. But with that sort of thinking, with that sort of other directedness, as Steve Covey would talk about back in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, allowing others to dictate the agenda has, in I think a lot of cases, has allowed people to sort of get soft, and like we've been talking about on and off throughout this call, this isn't for the soft. Like I sort of introduced, I'd rather, tell people the way it is and help them become successful, and I know you would too, rather than, tiptoe through the tulips and help them be comfortable and stay broke, right? I mean, what kind of service is that? Well, it's a service that a lot of people apparently subscribe to, right, when you look at how people just worship their comfort zones these days. But what do you think about that?
I think people have been conditioned to be dictated to over years. The school system, the whole go to school, go to college, get a job, work, retire, get the gold watch, and live happily ever after. That shit's broken. It doesn't work anymore. I mean, statistically speaking, you can't argue with the facts that most people that go to college and spend a crap load of money, get into a load of debt, never even work in the profession that they studied for at college. And that's a fact, I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's broken, and the facts do not lie. That's one thing that never lies. The facts never lie. You just got to look out there. People are brainwashed to this model, and they're getting themselves into all sorts of debt. I mean, just earlier on, right? I was out with my girlfriend, and we were chatting, and she said, "Hey, Dave, what's the deal? You want Ryan to go to college?" Ryan is my daughter's name, by the way. And I said, I'll support her whatever she wants to do, but I'm certainly not going to encourage her to go to college. I'm going to encourage her to go travel the world at that time, make connections, and start up some kind of online business. And that is my true feeling. And I don't believe that the world needs more workers and more classrooms. I think the world needs more thinkers, people that will think outside the box, not in a classroom. And people are conditioned over years and years and years. And I think only now entrepreneurship is really becoming more popular. People are starting to see that there is a better way because they're starting to see that people having success. And they're realizing that the people that are having success are just like them, especially the people that go to events. And if you're listening to this call right now, you have a unique opportunity to come to Vegas, to meet the people that are actually doing it, to shake our hands, and to rub shoulders, to have a pint, to go to the bar, to hang out, to have a chat. And you'll see that we're not that different. We're not different at all, We put our pants on one leg at a time in the morning. There's no difference between us, you, me, you. We're all the bloody same, You just got to get it out of your head that, oh, I can't do this, but they can. There's no us and them, right? We're all the same. If you want something bad enough, you're going to actually go and get it. So stop being conditioned. Stop being brainwashed. Get up off your ass. Do something. Come to Vegas. Meet us. And let's just go and rock this. Join the movement and charge with us. Don't watch it happen.
Dave, you just said one of the most powerful things, one of the most powerful distinctions that I think people can have. And that is there is no us and them. For as long as I was hanging around those MLM companies and kind of, doing the rallies and just a rank and file guy hoping to make money, and in this large crowd of people, almost all of which were not making money. And then I saw this other smaller crowd of people, right? And they were like special people, and they were the so-called leaders, or and all that. But I was not in that group. I was in the the larger group. As long as there was that imaginary line of demarcation between me and so-called special people, or people that were put on a pedestal, that's part of the failure mechanism, right? That's like celebrities, right? Like, oh, they're special or something. Here's the thing, my friends. The highest paid profession, statistically, the highest paid profession in the world is sales and marketing. Okay, now, there are exceptions where you've got a true, celebrity. Here's the actor, here's the, the pop music star, here's the person who is, 1 in a million, who is
John, let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt you. These top celebrity actors, what's their freedom look like?
I don't know. I'm not one of them, but
I can tell you, they're acting in roles. They're rehearsing all day. They're probably away from their families. They're off on sets. I can guarantee you, even the very, very top celebrities would not have as good of a lifestyle as we do. And that's a bold point to put out there, but I'm throwing it right out there.
Yeah, you know what? That's a fair point. Now people have essentially traded their life for something. I mean, we all do, right? We've got this time here on the planet, and we're gonna invest it in something, right? And so there are people who, many cases, and you can go to Los Angeles and you can go to New York City and you can see this all day, every day. They're waiting tables. They're hoping to make it big in acting or whatever, in music, right? And it's the starving artist syndrome. And then one in a million does it, right? Here's Lady Gaga, or whatever's popular these days. And but if let's say that you're not Lady Gaga, okay, you don't look good in a bikini or whatever. By the way, I look great in a bikini, just in case you're wondering.
Hey, that's the only reason I do this.
That's why you need to come to Vegas, because we'll be at poolside. But that's a joke, everybody, just in case. But here's the thing: what do I do? Right? I don't have some talent like that. I mean, I think I'm talented, but I've been in the music business, Dave, and I lost money, and it was a good hobby. It was fun. We were playing heavy metal. That's cool, right? But it wasn't a good business per se. But let's say that I want to actually make some money. What's somebody who's not willing to go through the the college indoctrination? And again, there's a use for college. Specialized knowledge. You're going to be a brain surgeon. Hey, you got to do the work, man. That's just the way it is. Fine, that's fine. But we've got people walking around deifying academia as if it's something of marketable worth, when clearly it's not, and getting into all this debt. Whereas if they could learn this most highest paid profession, sales and marketing, if they could learn that, oh, how fortunate. That's what we teach here. Oh, sign me up for that. That's beautiful. If we can learn that, then not only are we in the highest paid profession in the world without having to be a celebrity, and you could still have a life and a lifestyle and not get chased by paparazzi everywhere you go. But also, you can go anywhere you want and still be marketable. I mean, when in the history of the world will there not be the need for someone who knows how to convey an idea and to share a benefit with another person and to transfer some enthusiasm from one mind to another so they too can participate in these benefits that you're able to provide with your product or service. You see, it's an indispensable quality for someone who wants to make it as an entrepreneur. In fact, I remember reading one of Robert Kiyosaki's books that he co-authored in his Rich Dad series. I think it was the book Sales Dogs, where he's talking about sales and salesmanship. And the guy he got to write it with him talked about this. But Kiyosaki, in his opening, in his prologue, was talking about how when he was wanting to get successful in business, his rich dad, because he talks about rich dad and poor dad, his rich dad said, well, you need to go learn how to sell. Go get a sales job at Xerox or whatever, and learn how to sell machinery, and then you'll be on your way to becoming a great businessman. Okay, because you got to learn how to communicate, you got to learn how to sell. And I think a lot of times, especially with public agreements and mass ignorance about the topic, because what you're not up on, you're down on. A lot of times people sort of demonize sales and marketing as somehow it's bad or manipulative or just wrong or whatever people say about it, essentially to keep themselves stuck. Or like you mentioned in the network marketing world, people come up with excuses like I can't sell, and then they'll go on and on and on with their objection about how they can't sell. They'll sell you for 5 or 10 minutes about why they can't sell and why they can't do business, right? But this is all part of the failure mechanism where, Dave, you're special and I'm not, okay? And so I can't do what you're doing. And I could tell you, Dave, just from the little...
A lot of victims out there, John.
What was that?
A lot of victims out there.
Oh, victimhood is celebrated. Oh, step right up. I know one of my favorite authors said, I could get on the bestseller list anytime I want. All I got to do is write a book called You Are a Victim. It'll be an instant bestseller. And of course, this guy, is a philosopher, and he's writing about, things like personal responsibility and self-reliance and all these dreadful topics like that, being successful. But yeah, You Are a Victim, instant bestseller. So here's the thing, Dave. I can tell you just in a short amount of time that I've known you that you are not here to buy your own excuses. And I can say to everybody listening right now, that is a person you want to be around. A person who doesn't buy their own excuses sure isn't going to buy yours either. Okay, and that doesn't mean, we're not compassionate and, empathetic and, hey, we understand, we've been there too. But the point is, when it comes to negative circumstances, the point is we persevered so we don't have to be there any longer. Remember, the circumstances do not create the man, they reveal him to himself. Consider that. Dave, I think we're going to open up the Q&A.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do, folks. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it on topic. So if you have a support issue, you need to, reroute onto your coach or get Skype working or anything like that. And we can't solve that problem for you on this call today. Okay, so that you would click the help desk in your Digital Altitude member site and you will get routed on to support. Okay, so we're going to keep it on topic. We're talking about becoming successful through persevering, by being a master of your circumstances, and by identifying with this group of successful people that you have now just entered, that you're no longer apart from, but that you are now a part of, just like Dave, myself, and all the people we bring out here on the Black Diamond Call. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the lines. Uno momento. Hold on one second here. Here we go. Okay, so the lines are unlocked. If you'd like to raise your hand and get in queue to ask a question, you can go press *6, and then it will ask you to confirm or decline. So *6 is the command if you want to raise your hand and speak one-on-one with Mr. Dave Prosser tonight. It will be an exciting conversation, I'm sure. We do have a few minutes. We have our first caller. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, and I believe Rob, you are live on the air.
Hey there. I guess my question would just simply be on the days when either one of you, when you're saying you persevere and you go through, what is it that you dig down deep and find that really does it for you and says, to hell with it, I'm moving forward?
Yeah, how you doing, Rob?
Oh, I'm lovely. How about yourself, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. Okay, I'll shoot on that one first, John. For me, it's simple. It's my daughter. I mean, that's it, you know. I mean, before my daughter, I was crazy, man. My 20s, I don't even remember them. I'm 40 now. I just hit 40 a few months back. But, you know, since I started this online journey and got serious, it was after my daughter was born. And, you know, what drives me every single day, what challenges me, what lets me go out there, make mistakes, break stuff, is just the thought of not being there every single day, seeing her grow up. And that's the single factor that really, really drives me and keeps me going. And, you know, ever since that she was born and I started on this journey, the personal development side has also kicked in. Because what I'm seeing is other people and being able to impact their lives and seeing them go out and create success for themselves and, you know, success for their families. It really gets you motivated, and a combination of those two, I mean, it's just an indestructible force. There's nothing can shake in that will or that drive. Once you have that vision, you got that going for you. I mean, you're unshakable completely, man. What about you, John?
Well, I can tell you, Rob, I had a lot of motivation because of my circumstances were so bad. Like I mentioned earlier, talking a little bit about how I got my start in this industry. My health was failing. I actually ended up in the hospital with a stress-induced colon infection, and you know, here I was, 32 years old at the time, and newlywed to my wife. I just had my third pay cut in a year, which my job called a promotion. I mean, it was insulting. It was insulting. Here I am, all motivated. I don't need anybody hovering over me. I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I can't even get paid. I was trying to make this $20,000 a month, but I saw these so-called celebrity people and that network marketing deal do it, and no matter what I did, I could never get to it. So for me, it was a big drive to get out of circumstances that I was not pleased with. But then I also had to move towards something, because, Rob, I find that it's more inspirational to move toward something you want than just away from something you don't want. So a combination of those two motivators, right? Getting away from the circumstances I didn't want and moving toward the things that I truly did want and that I would no longer be denied in my life. Like Dave said earlier, it's kind of like a burn the boats experience. Like, I will not be denied this. I am going to get, I mean, after all, right? They make nice cars for some people. How about me, right? Is this lifestyle of, being a successful entrepreneur, is that just for other people or is it for me? So I had to decide how bad did I want it. The other thing I'll say, just as an aside, and this is, again, sort of a stepping off point, right, and that is I wanted to prove the naysayers wrong. For me, I could not give any people that said that I couldn't make it, I couldn't give them the satisfaction. There were plenty of naysayers in my life at the time. So that was also part of my motivation, is that I've got to show the success here. I cannot succumb. Okay, I've got to win. So I don't know if you can relate to any of what Dave or I just said, but Rob, how about you? What motivates you? Why are you here?
It's strange. I shared on the Facebook page a couple of weeks ago. My day job is I run a hedge fund, so I deal with a lot of people and see a lot of things. And what keeps me going is, much like yourself, it's the naysayers. Everybody thought, being a middle-aged white guy, everything was handed to me with a silver spoon. And I didn't have the health problems you did. But I can tell you, when I was 18, I was at the house, and I'm the one that got served the foreclosure notice on our house, not my dad. So I've had this drive for years going, I'm going to do whatever the frig it takes to make it. And I've adjusted when markets have adjusted. I've adjusted occupations when I needed to. And this one, for the first time, I've seen a lot of MLMs. Parents were in them. I've done them. And this opportunity for once gave me something that I didn't see in many of the others. A lot of MLMs, I'm not going to badmouth them, but they all talk about this big family, everybody's there to help, but as soon as you start slowing down, all communication seemed to cease and desist. So when I started going through the steps, even before I joined Rise, I looked at this and said, you know what? These are some great fundamentals for people that really give back and help can change people's lives. Because I won't get very esoteric on you, but I've always kind of known my function in life was to make money. Sounds egotistical and arrogant, I know. However, everything takes money to survive, whether it be whatever the charity is you love, whatever movement you love. You know, this past week with the Matthew hurricane coming up and down the East Coast, there are thousands and thousands of people from Haiti on up that need money and need resources. And if that's what I've been given the ability to do to help those people, that lights my fire. And the ability to help other people with this, do that. You know, that's the same post I shared, for lack of a better way to put it, for the last several months, my head had been up my butt. I couldn't think straight. I was unmotivated, just didn't care. And so I started going through the steps. You know, and it's all stuff I've heard before. I've read it in the Kiyosaki books, all those. I knew it all. But going through it step by step and forcing me to think about it. Talking with my two coaches, and I'll give a shout out to Joe Kennedy there. But the price alone of Rise, and I'll call it the price of admission, was so well worth it. It got my head out of my backside, motivated me, said, you know what? Quit caring about making a buck or doing what it is you're doing this week or what you're going to do next week. Remember why you do what you do. It's to help other people succeed. And this business gives a unique perspective on that, because not only are, you know, we're out there selling a product, obviously, but it really has the ability to impact thousands and thousands of people's lives, not only by teaching them some great skills, but giving them the opportunity to fundamentally change their lives and change the community around them. And with the, let's just call our political state in the U.S. right now what it is, you know, the ability to affect people on the community level at the grassroots and encourage them and give them the tools and ability to change their lives, that's more exciting than anything else I've seen in a long time in any business I've ever been a part of. So that's what gets me going.
Great stuff, Rob. Well, hey, congratulations, and also a shout out to Joe Kennedy. I know Joe, great guy. So you are in the right spot, Rob. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you in Vegas. I'll see you there in, 11 days, 10 days, something like that.
Yep.
So thanks for getting us started, Rob. All right. And we'll go to our next caller, who is on a phone in the 925 area code. I don't have a name, but I'd like one. Who's live with us on the call right now? Who's that? 925 area code, you're live on the air? One more time. Hello, are you there? Nope. Okay, let's go to our next caller. Okay, and who is our next caller here? I think it's Shalon? Shalon, you're live on the air. We may be having a technical problem. If so, if I just ejected somebody who's attempting to ask a question, go ahead and ask it again. Shalon, you're live on the air.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Hello? Shalon Davis. I just came aboard maybe 2 days ago. My background is commercial insurance and computer information technology. I have been on disability due to a motor vehicle accident since 2001, which interrupted my life. I have a lot of desire, a lot of passion. I have empathy for people, and since I've been on disability, I have tried several MLM programs. And just like the gentleman said, once I slow down, it seems like the communication has ceased and decreased. I am really enthused with the training with Aspire Digital Automation. What I'm concerned about is, can you explain to me how you differ from complete traffic authority?
I'm not sure I heard the question. I'm getting a lot of echo. I'm going to have to go ahead and mute your line, Shalon.
Yeah, there's some crazy echo and distortion going on there. I mean, what I was getting from that question is, you know, what happens when I slow down my whole business goes. Now that echo was really bad.
Yeah, it was bad. She was asking something about traffic, and sorry, Shalon, we were not able to hear you too well. But traffic. Let's just introduce that question right now. What would be a fast way to get into momentum with traffic? Do you think, Dave?
Well, I mean, the traffic is everywhere. The traffic isn't the issue; it's the funnel. You know, and what I would encourage people to do. I made a post on my Facebook wall the other day. I said, you know, if you're not altogether all in with your business, stay away from us on social media, because, you know, your prospects are going to see that and they're going to sense that from you. What you need to do is start focusing on your marketing more and creating funnels. And what I would encourage everyone to do is be more personable in their marketing. Get on YouTube. If you've never made a video before, make a video every single day for 30 days, right? Your first one might be shit. Your second one, your 10th one will be shit. But I can guarantee you, after 30 days, 2 months, you're in business, right? So you're in this for the long haul. Be prepared to stick it out for the long haul and do what it takes to actually get better. Get on YouTube. Make a video every day. Start creating funnels. Learn how to use the different lead page creators, whether it's lead pages, ClickFunnels, InstaBuilder. Go out there, make some pages, play with them. Get on every single marketer that you respect email list, right? All us top marketers, we got our capture pages out there on Facebook, floating around the place everywhere. They're not hard to find, Get out there and hustle, make it work. Put your email into the little box and see what we send you. Look at the types of messages and model it. Don't go out there copying the pages, but model them, make them your own. And there's no easy way of saying this, but if you're not prepared to do that, or if you can't do that, I don't know. You can't be helped. You gotta get up off your ass and do it. You gotta be looking at what's happening in the industry. You gotta be looking at what the leaders are doing, because the way you become successful is to surround yourself and be like the people who are already doing it and model what they're doing. So that's what I'd encourage you to do. Forget about fucking traffic. Think of funnels and conversions and learn about it. Go to YouTube, type in funnels and conversions. I bet there's a gazillion videos. Don't stay up till 5 o'clock this morning watching them, like I used to do, like John used to do, like any successful marketer does. There's no secret, there's no golden key that fits into the magic lock. You got to get off your ass. You got to go and look at the stuff. You got to watch the stuff. You got to absorb, and you got to learn.
There it is. Thank you, Dave. All right, let's go to our next caller. And now I believe we have our 925 caller online. Who's this?
Eunice.
Eunice. Okay, Eunice, you are live on the air.
How you doing, boss? Yeah, I'm the first. I don't know what I do, and I'm first time I sign up in this company, and they say I have to call, and I don't know, have no idea what I do,
Okay, very good. Well, Eunice, definitely get with your coach. And if you haven't had a coach assigned to you, just go ahead and go back to your Digital Altitude website, log in, and click on Contact Coach, and you should be on your way. So thank you for joining us here tonight. We're going to keep the questions on topic, and I do look forward to hearing you on our calls as you make progress. Eunice, thanks again for being here. We're going to go to our next caller, who is in the 214 area code. Who are we talking to live on the call tonight?
Hi, I'm Jason. How you doing?
Hey, Jason. We're good. You're live.
Man, I'm glad to be here. Love the show, and first time caller.
All right. Welcome. What's your question tonight, sir?
Well, actually, I have a question and a comment. My comment is, I am learning every step I can with this Aspire thing, and it's just taking me to new horizons that I've never been to. To whom do you owe the success of you getting?
I'm sorry, Jason, could you repeat that? To whom
do you owe the success of getting in here with Aspire, and why?
To who do you owe? Dave, do you understand that question?
Well, not entirely, but you owe it to yourself. It's your duty to be successful. It's your responsibility to be successful. So if you got your ass in here, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. I don't know if you've got a family. I know I owe it to every single person around me, because, if I'm not successful, who can you help if you're not successful? Let me ask you that question. You're not going to be able to help anyone. I'm not going to be able to help that person. Right.
Well, it starts with me, because I want to be successful myself. I want to surround myself with great people.
You already are, man. Are you going to Vegas?
Not yet, but I will be.
Get your ticket tonight. Don't wait. There's only a handful of tickets, if even that, left. You really want to make that breakthrough and make a change, you got to be prepared to do what it takes. And listen, if something like going to Vegas, where do you live?
I live in Texas.
Okay, perfect. If something like Vegas is going to hold you up in business, I don't know, man. I mean, listen, let's put it this way. If you open a traditional business, a franchise, whether it's a restaurant, a shop, and the company said, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to pay this amount of money. You need to get your ass here. This is specialized training that's going to move your business in the next direction. You're going to do it, right? With Aspire and Vegas, the flights are fucking nothing, right? They're absolutely nothing, right? You can, I know people who have driven, like my friend Alex Zubroff, he drove to his first event across country, and I think he slept in his car. If you really want it bad, you'll get there, and you'll do what it takes. Getting to Vegas is nothing. It's a walk in the park. You know, that's my advice here, man. Just get there. You owe it to yourself. If you owe it to yourself, do what it takes. That's it.
Man, you guys rock, man. You guys rock.
Thank you, Jason. I'll see you in Vegas, brother. And let's go on to our next caller, who is Joshua Levy. You are live on the air, Joshua.
How are you doing, guys? I'm actually in Vegas. I was looking forward to getting my ticket, but unfortunately my circumstances won't allow me to do a ticket. So anyway, they nailed the question that I had already. The two previous the caller before the last caller, Rob, I believe his name, and Shalon. So I'm just, I'm finishing my steps. I've finished 6A through in the last 4 days, and I've been doing what Dave just mentioned is, I have a fire because, I recently lost my kids through some stupid things. Anyway, I've been staying up night and day. Till 5 o'clock, waking up at 7, listening to the conference calls and doing what I'm supposed to do. My question for you is, how do I keep, I have the drive and I keep that drive. You answered the traffic, so I'm not worried about traffic and the funnels. How do I put all of this into just to keep my focus and my drive being this broke? Because I understand money, it takes money to make money. My dad's in real estate,
takes a great idea.
Company, so I understand the business part.
You know what?
What's that?
I can relate to what you're saying, man. And again, what if you look at the last 24 hours in your life? All right, you're going through some hard times. I get it. I can kind of relate to where you're coming from. I went through some hard times back just after my marriage fell apart, and I was kind of sleeping on a buddy's shot. But what I would say to you is, imagine your life 10 years in the future. Get a board out and picture your life 10 years in the future. Draw it out, map it out, and then break it down into chunks of time. Whether it's 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. Then break those years down into months and just kind of map out a direction. It'll give you a vision of where you want to go, what you want to happen in the future. I'm sure there's some things you'd like to get back into your life. Draw out a time frame for that and what you need to do to make that happen within that time frame. And then start telling your story through your marketing. You don't have to go into all the little nitty-gritty stuff, but just introduce yourself to the world, make yourself visible, and put it out there. And just start building that presence and make connections with the people that you want to be around. The people, the vision that you have for yourself in the future, start associating with people like that. And because it really is true, and John will tell you the same, the more you associate with people, the more you become like them. And the old saying is, the 5 people you hang around are the ones you're going to be like. And, you're saying your life is pretty shitty now, or it has been. Look around. Who were you associating with? What were you doing on a nightly basis? I can guarantee you it's probably pretty accurate, the statement of the people that you hang around, you kind of be absorbed into and you become like. Am I right?
I actually had to mute his line. He had some serious background noise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I can totally co-sign what you're saying. It's actually a statistic that your income is the average of your 5 closest friends. So it's a powerful concept. And I can tell you, Dave and Josh, that...
Not even income. You're going to be more like the people you hang around with as well. That's the point I'm trying to get to.
Oh, sure. Well, it's because of this phenomenon called social agreement. And I've done quite a bit of study in this area. And that is not only the characteristics, but what's called a tacit consent. It's an unspoken agreement between people. Anyone who's ever read the book Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brand. First 4 chapters are all about how victimhood is condoned, accepted, and rewarded. A really powerful book by a powerful woman, written back in 1936. If you can find a copy, grab it. I think it's been reprinted as of late. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about conforming or not conforming to the environment one finds themselves immersed in. So what Dave is saying, Joshua, and for everyone, is the more you can deliberately immerse yourself in an environment that is conducive to your growth, because it is an environment in which the success you seek is a reality, a current occurring reality, not just a theory, but a tangible, palpable reality. Well, now you can go a whole lot faster. That is the great accelerator. And of course, that's why we've got all these events, right? Like the one coming up in 10 days. So thank you, Josh, for asking that question. We've got 3 more people in the queue, and then we're going to wrap it up. So we're going to go to Nisha. Nisha, you're live on the air. Nisha, you're live on the air.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Hello? Okay. I am interested in the digital altitude system, or else I would not be here with you. So my question today is, how does the system exactly work, and what should I expect out of the system, and what are we exactly marketing? Will we be marketing someone else's product?
Okay, Nisha, it sounds like you've not yet, you're not even a member yet. It sounds like you're a guest. Somebody invited you here as a guest?
No. Well, I've done steps 1 through 4. I'm waiting to be recontacted by a coach.
Okay, so yeah, we've got a full product line that you're going to be exposed to as you go through the steps. So we need to get you back with your coach. Go into your Digital Altitude members site, which you should have your login for, and contact your coach. And if you're not in communication with your coach by tomorrow, you're contacting support, and you're getting down the track here, getting all the information you need. I would suggest that you go through the first few steps, as you said you just went through, with the Aspire program, and then look around on the digitalaltitude.co website and start browsing the products that are there. But no, you don't have to come up with your own product. That's a lot of work, by the way. Dave could tell you, okay, again, one of the things he was talking about earlier in the call is the enormous advantages we have here in Digital Altitude. You do not have to make your own products. What he was talking about, as far as exactly what do you do, exactly what you do, Tisha, is the marketing. That is the one and only hat that you need to wear, and that is the hat of marketer, which, as I mentioned before, is the most profitable hat. So definitely get the details, because it sounds like you've got the fire. You just need some information. So thank you for being here on there.
Yes, the coach said that he would actually go over everything, and he told me to watch the videos and to do the steps and to take notes and things, and we were going to discuss everything tomorrow. So, and I want to know about the seminar. Do you guys only do seminars in Las Vegas? Because I'm in Atlantic City. Do you guys ever do seminars in New Jersey or New York, perhaps?
This is the first ever marketing mastery event for Digital Altitude, and this is happening where people are coming in from all over the world. So you being right down the street in New Jersey, you're considered a local compared to the people flying in from Spain and Australia and India and the UK and everywhere else. So definitely get to Vegas. Well, you're in Vegas East, right? I grew up in New Jersey, so I know a bit about Atlantic City, but you could certainly grab a flight to Vegas. And that event, assuming you can still get a ticket, is happening in just 10 and a half days. So, Nisha, we look forward to meeting you there. It would be definitely worth your time and effort to get there. So thank you for
let me just
being
say
on
as well.
Yes, go ahead, Dave.
Well, Nisha, I mean, you said, what can I expect to get out of this? You'll get out exactly what you put in. So as John said, get to Vegas.
Okay.
You really need to be there. I mean, you're going to rub shoulders with a lot of people out there, that people who have experience in this game. And again, we're going to reiterate to everybody listening on this call, you haven't got your ticket. They're going to sell out tonight. I mean, we were looking, I don't know how many's left, if there's even any left now after this call, but you really, really need to get to Vegas. And especially if you're new, especially if you're new.
Where would I go to get tickets?
Okay.
I'll put that in the chat right now. I'll put that in the
put
chat
that
right
in
now.
the chat right now. And everybody, if you haven't got tickets yet, hit that link in the chat. You need to get these tickets right now. It's a must.
There you go. Thank you, David. Thank you, Nisha. We're going to move along. We're 15 minutes after the hour, so we're going to take a couple more and then wrap it up. And our next caller is Mike in Montana. Hey, Mike, you're live on the air.
Hey, how you doing? It's Mike and Roberta. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Mike and Roberta?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're husband and wife.
Yeah, we're doing this as a team. We jumped in as Apex climbers right off the bat.
Nice.
Fantastic. Mike and Roberta, Apex Climbers, the floor is yours.
Hey,
Yeah,
can you connect me on Facebook, guys?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook, and we're going to actually, in a couple of days, do a video and do our own video. And we're doing a solo act. We're doing everything that we can, and we just want to know if there's anything else we can do.
Yeah, we actually just started about 4 weeks ago doing the solo ads, working with our coach Russell Armstrong, which is fantastic. So
Nice.
I think you probably answered a lot of our questions. We were going to ask about what other kind of traffic or other avenues we could do, but you did mention doing the funnels and conversions, looking that up. So we just kind of want to make sure that we're definitely on the right track. I know Russ has helped us out a great deal, but any other advice you guys can have since you've been in it for so long and are successful? We just want to continue to follow the footsteps and be successful as well.
First of all, I want to give you a massive, massive congratulations, because you've taken more action than probably 90% of the people, that are listening to this call. You're the action takers. You're the ones that are going to be on stage next event. And, when you're talking about traffic, what else should you do? You're doing everything you can. You got off your ass, you took action, you built your business to the highest level possible, and now you're looking at traffic, you're testing out different things, you're not afraid to break shit. And I can tell that completely. And you're not afraid to break stuff, right? You want to go out there, you want to test, you want to experiment. But listen,
Yeah, we want to get off our ass.
Yeah.
get off your ass. Hell yeah.
Yeah. We're off it. I'm even taking advantage of days off at work, so I could spend more time at home doing this instead of at a job that I'm looking at not being at very much longer. So.
And I'm the supervisor. Just want you guys to know.
Yeah, she's my boss. So.
We've been married 25 years.
Yeah, so we're doing this as a team, and we enjoy your guys' call and your expertise. We just wanted to make sure we weren't missing anything or any other suggestions, just making sure we're heading in the right track to be successful as quick as we can.
We've been married 25 years this year, and we decided, we decided we are going to change the whole kit and caboodle, and we're going to just do this. Jump in with wet feet and just go for it. So if there's anything else we can do, let us know.
You've made the decision. That's it. I mean, everything else will fall into place. You made the decision. I can feel your energy over the phone. What I would suggest, if you want to make some little tweak, is to start tracking and focus on tracking. You see, you're running a lot of traffic. You got to know where that's coming from. You got to.
Yep, we got that.
Yeah, you need to know where your conversions are coming from, and you need to know where to scale.
Okay, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we got the tracking going. Yeah, we got all that.
Yeah, we got that going, and
so
that. Yeah, okay.
Blow it up. You're obviously going to Vegas, right?
You bet we're going to make it.
Yeah.
You talking about Las Vegas? Oh, what's that?
It's a steal deal. You're good. You're golden. Can you hit me up when you're there? I'd love to have a drink with you.
We're trying to get there. We haven't. If we can get tickets, we'll go.
Yeah.
Get them right now. Get them right now. Go to the link in the chat that John posted. Get them right now. You need to be in Vegas. Just get it. It's Vegas. It's not the moon.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're trying to get to. So, but yeah, this has been great. And so I guess we're doing everything right then.
Yes, 100%. All you need to do is get to Vegas, and you'll have the whole kit and caboodle.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like a deal.
Thank you so much. We hope to meet you there.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Fantastic. We will see you there. So I like that, Dave, that it's Vegas, it's not the moon. I'm waiting for Mike to release the intergalactic event where we can actually get out of space. But this is great. You know, how are we going to top that energy? Did you hear them too? Did you hear Mike and Roberta? Everybody? I mean, does anybody have any question in their mind that this couple is going to be successful? I don't. They're already successful.
They're
Yeah.
already. They've got it. There's no question.
You know what? I've often said more important than what you do is who's doing it. And I think right there, the unfair advantage of that emotional conviction. You know, certainty sells. Certainty is really attractive. And I heard it with Mike and Roberta. And they're brand new. Thanks again, guys. We're going to go just take a couple more before we're done. Yeah, glad you're here. And we do have Brian in Houston. Brian, you're live on the air.
Hello, how you doing? Glad to be here tonight.
We're great. We're great. You can hear how great we're doing.
Doing awesome, Brian. How you doing?
I'm fine. I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed both of your comments. I just wanted to ask a question and make a comment on something that John mentioned earlier. And he said you can't have a fox that chases two rabbits and gets both of them. And what I wanted to ask on that is, for some of us new members like me, I'm still fairly new. I've been around for about, say, 3 months. And I've made endeavors to try and make a little bit extra money so that I can go ahead and get going with Rise as quickly as possible. But should we allow that to distract us kind of towards going on ahead and making sure our main focus is on just getting the business started? We don't want to, in other words, I'm relating it to the metaphor that John spoke about earlier. We shouldn't try and go too far in either direction and never end up with either one. What would you have to say about that?
Dave, would you be okay if I took this one?
Absolutely. Knock it out of the park.
Yeah. Here's what's happening, Brian. I got started in this industry, like I mentioned, all those years ago, while still working a job, 80 hours a week, getting my pay cut 3 times a year, paying my mortgage almost on time, miserable with a health condition cropping up, and not liking my life. Now, here's what I had to do, because you know the proverb that I gave you, which isn't actually a proverb, and Confucius never actually said it, but Confucius say the fox that chases 2 rabbits catches neither. What that means is that once you've got a target, you go after that target. You do all that you have to do, as much as you got to do for as long as you got to do it. You go and you catch the rabbit. You cook the rabbit. You eat the rabbit. Okay, multitasking is mythology. Now we look at the grass is being greener on the other side. Dave and I here talked about the shiny object syndrome. Oh, look at this, look at that, right? So lots of distractions lead you nowhere. However, I was able to, in my first 90 days in this industry, okay, I was able to transition out of the job. How did I do that? I pit one against the other. I was at the job, earning money, doing what I had to do to be responsible and support my family, while at the same time, I was emotionally divorced from that job that entire time while I was ramping up my business. Now, since I also had that job, right, that I was going to go ahead and complete my work there, I didn't have to, think of this psychologically, I didn't have to make a sale today in the business because, after all, my mortgage is paid at the job. Right? And while I was at the job, well, I don't have to like the job because, after all, I got this business which is going to start bringing in money. So I had sort of a mental safety net that I played one against the other. Okay, and because I had a bit of tenacity, a bit of perseverance, like we've been talking about tonight, I was able to squeeze in work each day. Working on my business, the thing I wanted to do, I was able to squeeze that in and commingle it, even though I was completely overworked at the job. Right. So if that helps you, here's the bottom line. I had to get flexible. I had to invent some time. I had to eliminate distractions. And then guess what? What I wanted more than anything came to be because I was willing to do whatever it took for as long as it took. So I don't know if that helps you with your quandary or whatever it is you're looking to address, but I can tell you that it's always possible. The old saying, where there's a will, there's a way. I know it's been beaten to death, but that's how it worked for me. I just had to want it bad enough and stop looking at my circumstances and start creating the circumstances that I want by getting unreasonable. And balance in life comes later. Okay, but right now, we got to get this job done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that absolutely sounds fantastic. You know, I know Dave was talking a lot about taking action through this call, and I just wanted to make sure, you know, if we want to take action as quickly as possible. We don't want to move too quick and then, you know, kind of go in both directions at the same time. I mean, we want to go as quickly as we can according to our circumstances. I'm not trying to debunk anything that Dave said tonight by any means, but I just want to make sure, you know, we don't want to go too fast and then not get anything.
What is too fast? I don't think I understand that.
Well, I mean, in other words, say it like if you try and go maybe get too much money from, let's say, a loan, or maybe work a second or maybe a third job, and then that kind of stops you from being able to focus on visual altitude.
Throw caution out the fucking window. Seriously. I mean, if you're going to make a decision, you cannot afford to be cautious. Your success depends on this. Right? If you're going to be cautious and thinking of every move, or how am I going to do this, or where's the money going to come from in 6 months, then you're not programmed to make the money in 6 months. I mean, you're already communicating with your brain that this might not work. You're putting obstacles in your future, and, you know, that's the difference. To really have that success mentality, you got to be prepared to break stuff, take risks. None of the great entrepreneurs in the history of the world would have thought, I better be careful, I better do this in a certain way, I better be methodical about this. They went out full force, full steam ahead, and when shit didn't work, they fixed it along the way. And that's really what you got to do. And I would suggest some personal development books. And one book, actually, I really suggest you read is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. If you haven't got that already, and forget about reading, actually, because I don't read books. I listen to audiobooks, and I have a shitload of audiobooks. I have hundreds in my library. I'm not a reader, and that's okay. You know, people say, no, you got to read every day, blah, 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 blah. That's good for some people. It ain't good for me. And I know a lot of other entrepreneurs are very same. One book, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Go and get it. Either read it or listen to it on Audible, and then read it again while you're taking action. It'll help you out, man. It really will.
Fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Dave. And I know Grant, and I know his work. So there you go. And that's an easy read too, Brian. You'll find that's a very easy book to digest. So we do have time for one more, I believe, and this guy has been waiting for a while. So here we are, Vicente. You are live on the air.
Hey, good evening. How are you guys?
We're good.
I'm really excited because I'm listening to all these people, start the program. To tell you about a little bit of myself, I just left my country, Puerto Rico, about a year ago, looking like, for the American dream. And I've been working really hard for a year now. And then after working really hard a year, after being promoted, just a month ago, got laid off. And I've applied for dozens and dozens of jobs, and I don't get any interviews, or just the ones that I don't want. So I've been researching about, marketing online for a very long time, and then I decided through Aspire to join this program, and I've joined for a week and a half now, and I'm very excited, and I put out all my goals. I know what I want to do. I know I can do this, and I'm really excited to be in this call with you guys.
Awesome. We're excited that you're here. Did you have any questions?
No, I didn't have any questions. I just wanted to let you know how I'm feeling right now.
That's really awesome.
Love, Dave.
I got one question. Are you coming to Vegas?
Well, you know what? I'm just looking at the information, and I'm just hoping I can get there. I just have 10 days, but I don't know. I want to go. I'm going to do the best I can to get there.
I want you to go. I mean, I really want you to click that link in the chat and, make the decision right now, because the way you're talking, I mean, you seem to be, you've got your head on your shoulders, man. You know where you're going. You know everything about the company. And, the next step really is to take that plunge and get to the event. And get there and meet all of us. And, everyone listen to this comment. You got to understand how transformational these events are. And it's not just going to the event and learning how to do this or learning how to do that. It's all about connections. And if you've known anything about business, traditional business, online business, offline business, connections are very important. How valuable would it be to get one idea from $1 million earner to guide you and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. Do this now. Do that now. You know, here's a connection that I can introduce you to from where you're living, and this person's going to guide you this way and that way. And, you know, this stuff happens by rubbing shoulders, by sitting down, having a bite to eat with somebody, maybe having a coffee with somebody over breakfast in the morning. Man, you know, I can't urge anybody enough just to go and get a ticket and come before they're all sold out, because you really are going to be kicking yourself in 2 more days. I've been watching the counter, and there was like 180 tickets, then there was 80, then there was 70. I believe earlier on today there was 42 tickets left. I think that was what the count was. So I'm guessing that, you know, tonight, tomorrow, they're all gone. And, you know, that's it. And when they're gone, they're gone. You know, you can't say in a few days, God damn, I wish I had went, and, you know, what would have happened. And so, I mean, I just really encourage you to do what you can. I'd love to meet you there. I just love everyone to be there, because I know the power. I know the power behind it. And, you know, it's the same with any leader will say, get to the event. And there's a reason why every leader goes. There's a reason why they all say, get there. And that's why they're leaders. So if you want to be a certain type of person, you got to do what that type of person does. And, you know, I'm going to leave you with that.
And there it is. There it is. Thank you, everyone who participated. And, of course, Dave, hold on a second. Let me lock up. All right, so just you and me here now. But I want to thank everybody who participated. We had some great participation and some great feedback and some great questions here tonight. And Dave, thank you for sharing this time with me here on the Black Diamond. You know, this is a special call to me, right? This is something that in one form or another that I've hosted for years, and to bring the message from people, from a variety of people and a variety of personalities. And now we've been able to add you to that list of personalities, and I think a lot of people got fired up from it. So, hey, from me to you, man, I can't wait to meet you live and in person in Vegas. Have we ever met before?
No, we've actually never met before, John. And you know what? I really enjoyed this call tonight. I think we gave some insights to some people, and, you know, cut through the bullshit and gave advice to people who really wanted to hear it and who needed to hear it. And you know what, John, man? I'm looking forward to shaking your hand, sitting down, having a beer with you in Vegas.
Fantastic. Well, mine will be coffee. I've been alcohol-free for almost 30 years, but I will be there with you, brother, and with everyone who's listening right now.
Okay.
Okay. And, hey, my friends, I will see you all on the wake-up call tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so we're going to have Tatiana out for Tatiana Tuesday. And in the meantime, just go be awesome. Make it a great night. You absolutely deserve it. And we will see you again on the Black Diamond next week. Bye for now.